Welcome. Welcome to today's webinar, No Data, No Control in Real Estate Management. It's 10 o'clock. Let's get started. In about half an hour, I will tell you how your job could be freed from unnecessary paperwork, and I will show you how you could claim your position among top-ranking real estate professionals, and how your job will become more fun while you make all your stakeholders around you happy. Your client, your renter, your contractor, and your colleagues, not the least. But first, let's introduce ourselves. I am Jonathan, the guy on the right. It's my passion to make real people happy with software that we make. And it's my pursuit to help the world make faster progress. And I do that through supporting teams of professionals in the quest to make their work and their results better every day. Sorry, I had a colleague coming in asking for the sound. Well, as I told you, I'm the guy on the right. And well, with my team, asking for the sound. With my team, it's my quest to make the work of professionals better every day. At Capptions, this is what we call progress management, and our software makes that simple. I will turn on audience questions to anyone. Let me check that. Yeah, here we go. So on the top of the screen, you should be able to see a URL, goo.gl/slides/KRAVB9. If you type that into your browser, I will do that myself as well to just verify that everything works fine. Slides/KRAVB9. Okay, so let me know your names. Please type in your name. Yeah, I'm waiting for your names to come in. So I'll allow you another second. Please go to the link on top of the screen and let me know your name. All right, it's Ruben coming in. Welcome today. Frank, so you're in too. Awesome. Mustafa, good to have you. Good morning. Hey, Anya, good to see you too. So can you guys also let me know what your job titles are? So what's your job? Just in one word or two words. Okay, Mustafa is saying he's a realtor. Frank, property manager. Well, awesome. Good to have you guys in. At a later point in time, I will turn on the Ask a Questions facility again. For now, I'll turn it off so that I can talk you through the remainder of the slides. And at the end, I'll allow So here we go. This is Mike. Mike works as a technical property manager at a mid-sized property management firm with a portfolio of a number of hundreds of corporate office buildings in the country. And he is a member of a team of property managers and loves his job. His job is to ensure satisfaction to the owners of the properties, who only really get happy when the renters are happy and when the realtors are happy. When the renter and the realtors are happy, the owner knows that his investments are paying off and that the property is increasing in value. Mike is working hard, and everybody knows he wants to make a career move. He actually wants to become a project manager. And his boss, to whom he talks about his ambitions, will allow him as soon as the opportunity arises. For now, there's a part of the job that Mike doesn't particularly like, and you will understand why in just a bit. Mike, who is a typical non-office professional, he is out on the road visiting his clients, visiting the buildings more often than that he is in the office. So he's a typical frontliner. He still spends too much time on carrying with him, working on and chasing after paper. And his passion is in making effective agreements with his subcontractors, optimizing communication with them and with the client, and so helping the realtor to reach as high of an occupancy rate as is possible. However, all this paper. On an average day, Mike has to go to the office to print the forms on the properties he needs to visit that day. He has to search the archives for the previous site visit report in order to know what the previous state of the object under hand was at the last visit, either visited by him or one of his colleagues. He has to overcome the office troubles when finding out a new version of the forms to be launched by his peers in the office just after he's printed the old ones. He has to deal with situations of realizing that he has accidentally brought the old version of the form to the site when he arrived, or worse, he forgot to put the forms in his briefcase altogether. He has to fill out all sorts of paperwork in paper-unfriendly situations, especially those without a proper desk or table, or those in uneasy weather conditions when he needs to take pictures of the facade of the buildings or the parking space. He fills out data that seems so unnecessary to him. His name, the property name, and the address has to be put on the top of the papers every time, over and over again. Is anyone using that data anyway? And he has to bring out the filled out forms back into the office for follow-up back office processing. His peers in the office need to work the data and produce reports. And then he has to stand being criticized by the colleagues for bad handwriting, having used the wrong version of the form, or having lost a sheet somewhere between his property, his home, and the office. And, well, a number of times in the week, he has to take home the written notes and the photos he took on the findings on the site visit for manual transcription into a Word report, with manual uploading and processing of all the photos into the same report. And for each of the buildings under his assignment, he has to produce a multi-year maintenance budget every now and then in a PowerPoint presentation. Again, manual work. So much hassle and so much room for mistakes. So inefficient. This is the part of the job he doesn't like. It doesn't stop there. Mike chasing his colleagues, people he works with, and which is common for a number of reasons. In order to prepare a site visit with the right set of documents, such as a contract, previous inspection report, and the updated forms and checklist, he is depending on his colleagues. But also, when he hands in the documents for back office processing, so his peers in the office are manually transcribing the reports into an Excel sheet, manual report building. And they need to make the changes to the contracts with the renters and with the subcontractors according to the findings and the site visits. He has to chase them. He's waiting for the results. It takes a lot of time while his client is waiting, while the subcontractors are waiting, while the renter is waiting or the realtor is waiting. Unhappily, when he goes quiet for so long before providing them with the promised reports they're waiting for. And Mike realizes that his colleagues in the back office are doing their best, but they're processing his paper forms into Excel sheets manually. And he wonders, couldn't we just record the data digital at source? Couldn't I just take it in digitally so that all the manual handling could be skipped? And the same goes for the visit reports he has to write himself, using the written clipboard notes and the photos taken on the spot, in order to secure proper follow-up by the subcontractors. And the same, like I explained, the multi-year forecast on the maintenance cost is a PowerPoint report that he has to prepare manually each time for each of the properties he manages. And Mike asks himself, what would make the work he has to do in the front line more easy? How could we establish a well-working link between what he's doing in the front line and what his office in the back office are doing? But there's so much paper involved now, so much room for error. And above all, it takes so much time for the data caught on a piece of paper traveling from his site visit into his client's email box. It's actually this link between the front line and the back office that is broken. How great would it be to restore this link? And how great would it be to see the required data traveling between the front line and office with the speed of light? How much frustration would be cut out at both sides of the equation? And how much fun would it add to his work again? So, what if? What if I could use my smartphone to replace all the paperwork? Goes Mike thinking. And he continues, what if I could have my previous site visit electronically at hand on the spot in the moment I need it? What if I could structure my site visit in such a way that the end result is a proper pre-formatted report? And what if I could send the contractors I have to direct a specific and standardized work order to respond on the findings that I found on the site? What if I could eliminate all paperwork with my smartphone or tablet? And Mike thinks along and realizes how this way of working would save him time. At least 50%, he thinks. Now more. If we as a company could skip all the manual Excel work too, and the manual work report preparations for the contractors, as well as the manual report making for the owners, we should easily be able to save 75% of our time. What about the cost? Wow! If we could only strip away all paper from the process. If we succeeded, we could free up 1 out of each 10 property managers to deliver a far more structured report. This might probably allow me to finally become a project manager. As you hear, Mike really becomes enthusiastic. And he continues contemplating, with 10% reduction in cost in our team, we should be able to increase profits by 2%. And let alone how the project management work that I then could take up would further increase profitability. At this point, let me introduce Nico. Nico manages a number of people like Mike at Yield Plus. They are an innovative technical property management firm in downtown Rotterdam. And I had the pleasure to talk to Nico a number of times in the recent past. And Nico was so kind to teach me a lot about how technical real estate management actually works. For one, he explained, and I think it's true for most businesses, but for Yield, at least it's true, it's all about happy clients. And he explained that the work he does is in close harmony with a set of different stakeholders. Of course, there's the client who owns the property. And the owner assigns a commercial manager, generally the realtor, who in turn is paid to optimize for rent income. The realtor on the right bottom corner. And then there's the renters, who only engage with the realtor if the property is up to the mark. And that is where Mike, the technical property manager, comes in. He has to ensure the technical service level that is attractive to the renter at a sustainable and minimal cost level. And for that, Mike hires various contractors and he directs them to, well, make the state of the object up to the mark in a sustainable manner. One for the climate system, another for the garden, a painter to do the paintings, a window cleaner to make sure that the windows are cleaned every time, as well as the concierge, who manages first-line interactions with the renters. And Nico continues to explain, like in most businesses, you're either going up the value chain or you're going down. And in order to secure your going up, you need to differentiate your business. And once you succeed to differentiate and go up, the result is good margins. And if you don't, you find yourself competing more and more on cost level and hard work only. And the higher you go, the more benefit you get. Now that we have freed up a number of mics from technical property management by going the digital all the way, we can reassign them in higher value, higher margin types of work. And Mike has been proven to be very successful in venturing the possibilities of taking on high margin real estate project management jobs. So we're saving time and cost, but while we do, we find new and more profitable business to take up. And at Yield, we're managing a number of hundreds of commercial properties across the country. We differentiate in a management system approach that keeps the lines very short. We report 4 times a year on each of our properties under assignment after a thorough on-site inspection. Any findings done are reported back to the back office and to the contractors to follow up on immediately. And as a result, we stay ahead of the concierge or the renters complaining on defects or shortcomings. And our contractors are really happy about this because they are allowed to fix things up before they've really gone bad. Our concierges are happy too, since we're so fast and responsive to any issues we find. And with that, the renters are also happy about it because they seldomly run into lingering issues and enjoy a well-maintained facility. And last but not least, this makes the property become known as a desired rental object among the renters, which in turn makes the realtor happy. It's easy for him to optimize rent incomes with relatively higher prices and minimal vacancy. And this, of course, leads to a well-optimized rent income. And with that, a happy renter. And with that, a happy client. So this little formula is what Nico explains to be his success formula. But Nico, how to achieve all this? At this question, Nico explains that for all the years he has worked in real estate, he has seen so much paperwork. Paper once used to be a blessing in a world that was in need of written communication, but that's more than 2,000 years ago. For too long, we have not realized how new technologies have emerged and are so readily available to us right here, right now. Look at your smartphone. It can be used so easily. So we have adopted them, our smartphones, as vital tools in making written communication easy, fast, and fun in our day-to-day jobs. At Yield, says Nico, we have found a unique way to digitize our processes. We have equipped our frontliners with optimized digital inspection forms and contract forms on our tablets and smartphones. It has saved us 75% of time on handling paper forms and contracts. It has allowed the team to focus on and spend more time on their passion, effectively and creatively managing the relationships with all stakeholders. And the remaining administration work is now more easy, more accurate, faster, and so much more fun. And what we see is that now finally the link between the front line and the back office has become real time. Okay, guys, let me turn on questions again. Allow you to post some questions because I'm interested in whether you see this applicable in your business, yes or no. Nico explained that both performance but also compliance in day-to-day operations is now going hand in hand. Is that something that you like? Making the work for the frontliners in your company easy, fast, and fun. Is that something that you want? And while engaging those frontliners in achieving operational performance with feedback, push notifications, dashboards, is that something that could be applicable in your business? Would you like to see the link between frontline and office restored? Let me know. Of course, I read. Yes, tell us more. Thank you, Anya. Okay, let's continue. How about the happy colleagues? At Yield, Nico says, we have found a unique way to digitize our processes. We have equipped our frontliners with optimized digital inspection forms and contract forms on their tablets and smartphones. It has saved them the time. And it has allowed us to cut cost on managing the properties with more than 10%. And it still increases our profits substantially. It has allowed us to climb the ranks among property managers in our market. It has allowed us to streamline our total processes and be in total control on our property portfolio. And while bringing a lot of control and calmness in our back office processes, we have seen Mike's work happiness go through the roofs. And not only Mike's, the whole team is happy now with a new way of working. And Nico continues to state that he warmly recommends Capptions to anyone in real estate business. And at Capptions, you might guess, we are proud to have Nico as a valued customer and an active ambassador. Thank you, Nico. So, do you want to boost your business efficiency too? And do you want to secure a position in the upper half of the pack? Then I have 2 actions for you to undertake. Take your smartphones and search inside your App Store or Google Play Store for the Capptions app and download it. You can also simply type in www.capptions.com/app in your mobile browser. Capptions.com/app in your mobile browser will guide you to your App Store directly to the Capptions app. And well, you can do it right now or after this webinar. You can fill out the Get Started form. It contains a survey, some questions, and it will allow you to book a 30-minute one-on-one demo with one of my colleagues, who will be glad to explain how we can transform all the paperwork, all the administration work in your company, in your process, and help you reap the benefits that Mike and Nico have been profiting from in the past 2 years already. So download the app and make sure to book a 30-minute demo. Well, that was it for today. Feel free to type in some extra questions and I'll get back to you via email, or I'll be talking to you in one of the one-on-one demos. Thank you for your time. Talk to you soon. We'll be back soon with a new webinar, possibly also on real estate management. Thank you.